Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending my presentation. Today, I'm going to talk about our work, WIN-PDQ, a linear estimator-based projection domain quantitative SPECT method that accounts for intra-regional uptake heterogeneity. First of all, alpha particle emitting radiopharmaceutical therapies, in short alpha-RPT, is becoming more and more important as a cancer treatment modality. These therapies make use of alpha particle emitting isotopes, for example, radium-223, to effectively ablate the tumor. But at the same time, the emitted alpha particles also have potential high normal tissue toxicity. It is important to perform the dose quantifications to monitor the adverse event, adapt treatment regimes, and predict therapy outcomes. Fortunately, those isotopes also emit gamma ray photons. Thus, it enables SPECT-based dose quantifications. However, SPECT-based dose quantification is challenging in alpha-RPTs. In addition to the complicated SPECT physics, the most significant challenge is the usually extremely low number of detected counts. As shown in this figure, the count level can be up to 20 times lower than that in a conventional SPECT. Unfortunately, with conventional SPECT system and imaging protocols, those low counts are inherent in the low administrative activity in the treatment process. Thus, to improve the SPECT imaging quality in alpha-RPTs, SPECT system design and imaging protocol optimization are needed. For this need, one important approach is to conduct a task-based optimization. In this study, we consider the task as estimating the mean activity uptake of organs and lesions of the patients, which can subsequently serve as input to dosimetry models for organ and lesion level dosimetry, a key reason to perform quantitative SPECT in alpha-RPTs. For this task, a reliable estimator of the quantitative SPECT approach is needed to objectively optimize the SPECT system designs and imaging protocols. Conventional quantitative SPECT methods are usually based on the reconstructed image. These methods estimate the regional uptake by averaging the voxel values within the region. However, this approach was observed to be not optimal in alpha-RPTs, yielding high bias and standard deviations in previous studies. The primary challenge for this kind of reconstruction-based approach is that it requires an intermediate step to estimate a large number of voxel values from the SPECT projections. A highly ill-posed problem that becomes even more challenging for given the low number of detected counts. In contrast, the projection domain quantification methods directly estimate the regional uptakes from SPECT projections. Given the usually much smaller number of regions, this approach is significantly less ill-posed. It also avoids the potential information loss during the image reconstruction step. There are multiple projection domain quantification methods that has been developed before, including the linear estimator-based, scanning linear estimator-based, and maximum likelihood estimation-based. Notably, based on the idea first proposed by Dr. Carson, using the maximum likelihood estimation, we have developed a projection domain low count quantitative SPECT method, in short LCQ SPECT method before. The method was developed to account for the challenges in alpha-RPTs, and it has been observed to yield accurate and precise regional uptake estimates given region definitions with homogeneous intra-regional uptake heterogeneities distributions. However, none of the above mentioned projection domain quantification method accounted for the potential heterogeneous uptake distribution within regions when estimating the mean regional uptake. This intra-regional heterogeneity has been observed to be present in previous studies, as shown in this figure. In our previous studies as well, although the LCQ SPECT method was observed to be relatively insensitive to moderate levels of such heterogeneities, neglecting significant such heterogeneity can lead to erroneous regional uptake estimates. Thus, a quantitative SPECT method that can reliably estimate the mean regional uptake given the presence of such intra-regional heterogeneities is needed, which can be subsequently used to objectively optimize the SPECT system designs and scanning protocols. Thus, the objective of this study is to propose and evaluate a linear estimator-based projection domain quantitative SPECT method, in short WIN-PDQ method, which estimates the mean regional uptake while accounting for the intra-regional uptake heterogeneity. The linear estimator here was chosen such that it is the linear estimator that achieves the minimum ensemble mean squared error, and it is quite suitable to account for the intra-regional uptake heterogeneity given its linearity, as we will see later. Next, we come to the theory of the WIN-PDQ method, which contains these three parts. First of all, we define the immune system equation, which is quite conventional, except for that psi that denotes stray radiation-related noise that becomes significant at low counts. Next, the object function is represented by this formula. The theta here denotes the parameters for intra-regional uptake heterogeneities. Without loss of generality, the lambda k here denotes the mean activity uptake of the case region, and the phi k here denotes the normalized heterogeneous uptake distributions within the case region, and it is parameterized by theta k. Before going to the next part, we define a symbol as shown here. Basically, the angle brackets denotes taking expectation with respect to the subscript, and accordingly, the ensemble mean projection over all randomness is given by this equation. Here we can see that it is averaged over 3 sources of randomness, including the intra-regional heterogeneity. And similarly, denotes the ensemble mean regional uptake by this symbol, and extending from the linear estimator, the format to apply the WIN-PDQ method can be described by this equation, which make it globally unbiased. The lambda hat here denotes the estimated regional uptake value, and the W denotes the estimator matrix, and the T here denotes the transpose of this matrix. The goal in this in the following derivation is that to obtain the estimator is to find the W that minimizes the ensemble mean squared error given by this expression. For this goal, we need to first find the explicit and feasible to implement form of EMSE as a function of W, which is the estimator matrix. With some durations, this EMSE value can be expressed by this formula. This is quite similar to that for the linear estimator. The only difference is that this covariance matrix actually models variations due to the intra-regional uptake heterogeneity. First of all, the covariance matrix of lambda, denoted as Kg here, can be decomposed into 2 additional terms, which is the covariance matrix due to the Poisson noise and the covariance matrix due to the variations in the object. And further, this covariance due to the variations in the object can have 2 sources, which are the covariance due to the intra-regional heterogeneity and the covariance due to the variations in the mean regional uptake. Remember that the k lambda here denotes the covariance matrix of the mean regional uptake, and the H maps this kind of covariance to the projection domain. It can we can think about that as a variation of the system response of regional masks, which I won't go to too much details here, but it is quite easy to compute. In fact, generally seeing, all the other covariance metrics can be relatively easy to obtain from the populational prior knowledge. Quite similar to that when we apply the winner estimator matrix to obtain the conventional winner estimator. And the unique term for the WIN-PDQ method, and it's also usually the most challenging part to obtain, is the covariance matrix due to the variations in intra-regional heterogeneity. To provide an example of how we could obtain such a covariance matrix, we need to consider a concrete intra-regional heterogeneity model. Here we consider the well-known lumping model. The lumping model was observed to be effectively modeling clinically realistic intra-regional heterogeneity, and it generates tissue-like object by placing a random number of lumps with arbitrary center positions to create spatial variance in the uptake. To minimize the amount of mask here, I just depict how this model generates heterogeneities in one of the regions in our simulated patient here. However, if you are interested in the math, we could discuss it later. Basically, here shows some lumps considered centered as CNK, And by assembling them together, we get the heterogeneous uptake distribution within the kidney region. Given this lumpy model-based intra-regional heterogeneity, the covariance due to variations in intra-regional uptake heterogeneity, K bar G bar here, requires computing such an integration for each region. The chi here actually denotes projections of lump centered at CNK in the case region. And as illustrated in this figure, this integration intuitively actually can be understood as accounting for the correlations in the projection domain due to the each potential lumps in the object domain. For each individual CNK, the projections are relatively easy to obtain. However, it is unfortunately computationally very challenging to compute this integration directly due to the high dimensionality of the chi here and the accumulated complexity in computing the integration. Next, I will show the two approaches we took to address this problem. First of all, we approximated this integration using a Monte Carlo approach by randomly sampling a relatively small number of CNKs. And we can, and it is actually a quite good approximation. And next, we bring in the W matrix to let it first multiply with each lump projections, which significantly reduced the computational cost for this outer product. And upon this point, we have successfully represented the EMIC value as a function of W, as shown in this a little bit complicated equation, but all the other terms can be easily computed. Then we implemented that equation in the TensorFlow framework and solved that W that minimize the EMIC using the Adam optimizer, and it can be then applied by this equation to estimate the regional uptake. Next, we come to the evaluations. Here present the evaluation framework. In this study, we used XCAT to model the patient anatomies, and the patients are simulated to have clinically relevant rhythm 2 to 3 uptake and various intra-regional heterogeneities. The patient was imaged using semi-assemblated SPECT systems, and we considered 4 quantitative SPECT methods: the OICM image reconstruction-based method, LCQ SPECT method, and the conventional winner estimator-based method, which actually assumes homogeneous intra-regional uptake distribution, and the proposed method. We evaluated the normalized root ensemble mean squared error of the estimates. More specifically, the patient phantoms in this study all have the average body size, but different lesion diameters. For each lesion diameters, we generated 500 phantom realizations with various lumpy model-based intra-regional uptake heterogeneity or regional uptake. These figures represented the two phantoms of the two phantom realizations of in the population, demonstrating the heterogeneous uptakes in different regions. And here we compare the performance of the quantitative SPECT method with average lesion diameters with for phantoms with average lesion diameters, and we observed that the proposed WIN-PDQ method actually yielded the lowest normalized root ensemble mean squared error for all the regions, and among the 4 considered quantitative SPECT method, and the improvement in the result are most significant in the lesion and the kidney region. Next, we evaluated the performance with various lesion diameters given the high intra-regional uptake heterogeneities in all the major regions of the phantom, as shown in this figure. And we observed that proposed method actually yielded the lowest normalized root ensemble mean squared error for all the considered lesion diameters. We would reiterate here that due to the high intra-regional uptake heterogeneities, the model mismatch for the conventional quantitative SPECT projection quantitative SPECT method is significantly high. But even at this situation, the WIN-PDQ method yielded a very low normalized ensemble mean squared error for the estimates. Okay, the limitation of future works. First of all, we need to evaluate the method with more diverse patient anatomies and intra-regional uptake heterogeneities. And also, we would study the use of WIN-PDQ method in optimizing the design of SPECT systems or scanning protocols for the task of estimating mean regional uptake. As shown in this equation, we can also express the EMIC as a function of the system operator, which is also a function of the parameters for system designs or scanning protocols. And we can find the parameters that minimize this EMSE value. Previous study has used this similar has optimized the SPECT systems and the image protocols using the conventional WIN estimator, but the proposed method actually provides a unique opportunity in by considering the potential heterogeneities in different regions. And a similar study and a study in the same direction from our lab will be presented this afternoon in the POM4 room, and it is more on a detection side. And another future work is that we may explore the use of previously developed approaches to acquire the prior knowledge from the populational data. And also we would develop further of the method towards clinically applying that as a true regional uptake quantification method, maybe in the getting the personalized treatments. So to conclude, we proposed, implemented, and evaluated the WIN-PDQ method, which directly estimates the mean regional uptake from SPECT projections while accounting for intra-regional uptake heterogeneity. As evaluated using patient phantoms with rhythm 2-3 uptake and lumpy model-based intra-regional heterogeneity, the WIN-PDQ yield reliable regional uptake estimates and significantly outperformed other considered quantitative SPECT methods. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thanks for our lab mates, collaborators, and funding support.